Hello and welcome back to another episode looking at the essence of nutrition with tea. This is the fifth part, and I'm just going to pull up the PowerPoint here so that you can follow along with me as we look at some of the details. All right, so I am tea artist and movement specialist, Dr. Michelle Greenwell, and I have a long history in the dance world, but also in Tai Chi. And it's that passion in movement that brings me to how can we really change the way that we're living and functioning. And I do that by bringing in the conversation of tea. And I can do that in a podcast, but I can also do that with a cup of tea in my hand. My resources you can find at Linktree, and that'll allow you the opportunity that if there's something very specific you want to look at, I've probably figured out that might be a topic for you, and there'll be a direct link so you can just click on it. It's the fastest way to get to all of my resources. Okay, so let's look at the CommuniTEA tea. So this is Mission4Change CommuniTEA. This is a tea that was created to help fundraise for the Moyo family in Malawi. And it's also been a way for me over the last few weeks to really hone in on this tea and the true value that's behind it. And there are specific ingredients that are there, and you can see them in the listing here. But what I've been doing is highlighting the relationship of the different ingredients to each other, and I've been doing it in pairs so far. So this is the last of the pairings. If this is of interest to you as far as you want to order some tea, which I hope that you do, then please go to the Cape Breton Tea Company website. If you live in the Kelowna, West Kelowna, Okanagan Valley area, then Charlene Wayne's my sister, who you can find on Facebook. She has tea there and you can purchase directly from her. And otherwise, the Stephen Moyo's Mission4Change, if you want to help get involved in how we can change lives in the family setting of the Moyo family in Malawi, but also in their village. And then further out from that, then we would love for you to start to join in with us. So let's look at Rooibos. Now that's the way I say it. Rooibos is sometimes how it's said. The important part about this is actually it's a red bush that grows in South Africa. And they usually harvest it when the leaf turns red. You can harvest it when it's green, and then it would be known as a green leaf rooibos, but we're looking at the red bush, which is the most often the way that they use it. And the reason they wait till the leaves have turned red is for the oxidation that happens, because that changes the nourishment that's going to come out of the leaves. If you see there on the left-hand side, I have a symbol that says tea with intention, 5 elements, and you've got a bunch of colors. That is representing which element functions at which time of day. It's a time of day wheel. And with the way that the combinations have been put into this tea, all of the combinations represent the 5 elements, which is really cool. The thing about the rooibos being in there is it's an herb. It doesn't have any caffeine, and it has a high antioxidant level, which helps to nourish and support cell structure so that things like inflammation, pain, circulation, fluid flow, all those things that respond to inflammation can just be lessened. And so this is a part of the way that you can start to bring some of that opportunity to you. I'm going to invite you to hold your hands right now for Sea of Tranquility. So you're going to take one hand across, and it's going to just go across to the collarbone and the other side. So the fingertips are going to be at the collarbone. I've got my microphone there, so I'm just mindful of that. And if you just hold the Sea of Tranquility, this is a great way to calm the body. And while we're thinking and talking about Rooibos, we have the essence of it combining with the Sea of Tranquility to provide us with, and this is the next part that's really important, the ritual of tea drinking. And how, when we create tea, what we can produce with that, which is a relaxing and rejuvenating space for ourselves. and the combination of ingredients that can lift us up and revitalize us. So when we're looking at the Rooibos and the opportunity that it does within the cell structure, it's a great way for it to be supporting mindful moments, a chance for reflection, an opportunity to inspire some creativity, and for problem solving. All right, so now that we've held that little piece, I'm going to take it to the next herb. So here we're looking at actually petals. So these are the heather flowers. The petals from the heather flower inspires an understanding of connection with others that isn't personally focused. So not being, I don't want to say selfish, but self-centered into what is good for you. It actually is going to pull you out of that and have you realize and be more open to what's going on around. So this one, I'm going to talk about the 3 burners. So I'm going to invite you to take your hand. I'm just going to stand so you can see. And so you've got the center of the chest will be respiration, so breathing. You have between the xiphoid process and the belly button, halfway between, which is going to be digestion. And then below the belly button is going to be elimination. So how we get rid of the toxins and process. So what we're going to do is just hold those 3 points. So I have my thumb in the center on digestion, and I have my pointer finger and middle finger are below the belly button for elimination. And I have my fingertips into the center of the chest for heart. We're just going to hold these 3 burners and let them hook up. While we're doing that, let's talk a little bit about what it means not to be personally focused. So this is where we have the opportunity to look at our compassion for others, empathy and sympathy, and how we can help people out of their loneliness or their disconnection. And it's a way for us to engage with others that becomes inviting and supportive. Now, sometimes when we're focused on ourselves, we decide not to go out. We decide not to engage with a group of people, and we isolate ourselves. And then we wonder why we're lonely or why we can't seem to be connecting with people. And it's because of some of the choices that we've made. Now, sometimes it's how we feel. But with the heather flower, it helps to inspire connection. It provides a way, without any words, for us to just feel lifted enough to make a decision that's a little different. Instead of saying, I'm not going to go and join in on the coffee hour down at the library today. Instead, you might say, today I'm going to the library. And you make that connection and then see how you feel afterwards. So when we return our gesture of opportunity by stepping away from isolating ourselves with the world, we actually make that connection and compassionate outreach to someone else. And even though it may have been hard for us to say, I'm going to go to the library today and connect with other people, that person that you meet at the library may have really needed somebody to connect and see them. And it made such a difference in their day that you took the time out of your day. So heather flowers helps to inspire us to think outside ourselves, make some choices and changes that takes us towards people and to be able to reach out. And in the case of this tea, it has been so powerful for me for the last few weeks as I've been really taking time with it. I have built a completely new community, and I have some combinations of groups of people that I'm working with that are brand new to me, but also provide me with new input and new inspiration for projects. So this is really great. Okay, so now that we've connected those 3 burners, we've just been holding those points lightly, and the heather flowers are there. You might notice that you make some different choices in the next day or 2. So now let's bring this together. And here the activity is circle of hands in connection. And so I know that I'm recording this ahead of anybody seeing it, and no one's right on the other side. But I'm going to connect with you because I know you've found this video for a reason. And I'm just going to put my hands out to you. And if you want to bring your hands to connect to all the people who are going to find this video, we connect together. When we step out of ourselves to be present for others and to realize the needs and the opportunities of connection, it's central to the relationships that we have. And these are two ingredients, Rooibos and heather flowers, that are found in the CommuniTEA blend. When our body, mind, and spirit feel a sense of calm as well as being supported, that's where confidence is born. It comes within connection and it produces new opportunities. Reaching out still requires action and attentiveness to the needs of others, but the opportunity to change lives is present. It's beginning with our own opportunities and those in close contact with us, and then it branches out from there. It's like dropping a pebble into the pond, and we have a nice ripple that continues to go out. All right, so I'm hoping you're feeling that connection now. You may notice there's lightness in your fingers. Sometimes I get like, not butterflies in my stomach, but just a little bit of lightness that starts to come in. I want to introduce you to the Moyo family. You can see in my podcast, Be Well with Dr. Michelle Greenwell, at the end of each month, Charlene and I gather to talk about her latest discoveries in talking with the family and learning more about what life is like in Malawi, but also looking at for the changes that have been happening for the family as a result of the tea, people drinking the tea, and people making their own community changes. So here is the picture from this last month. And this is where we were able to look at eliminating some period poverty. And Grace Pads, which provides supplies for sanitary napkins to women in Malawi. They went to the family, met the family, took pictures, video, had conversations, and shared with them how they can take care of their needs with these special pink buckets and the sanitary pads and underwear that are in there, as well as the soaps. So you can follow more on a podcast, and we add to it every month. The proceeds from the selling of the tea has been able to help us actually accomplish that goal of Grace Pads being present. And then we also have our next, this is our really big goal, is to help replace the house they lost 2 years ago in the tsunami and build a concrete home that can withstand the rains and the flooding that they endure in the rainy season, which makes it really hard for them to store food and also to take care of themselves and really be supportive of the kids in school. And so we want to start to support that next piece. And if you can be a part of that, please order some tea or make a donation. So how you can do that is here. You've got 4 different ways to use a scan code, and Grace Pads is here, plus the Grace Pads video, because we wanted you to know more about this amazing company and help shed a light on the work that they're doing and how they're advancing things for women. So thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you are enjoying the way that I'm expressing the nutrients that come into the tea, not in a vitamin perspective, but in the essence and the power of being connected to the herbs. Enjoy your cup of tea. From me to you, Slange. That's how we would say it in Cape Breton. Take care.